Now, as you probably know, this weekend is Star Wars Celebration in Tokyo. It actually kicks off tonight, Thursday night, for those of us here in the US due to the time difference. And for those of you who maybe don't know, this event is about what you might expect it to be. There are all sorts of panels covering all sorts of things, featuring Star Wars actors and creators, both old and new, as well as all sorts of announcements, usually telling us about future content, which maybe makes you ask, are there going to be any major announcements this weekend? Is there going to be anything to celebrate from out of Star Wars Celebration this year? And once upon a time, I had predicted we would get the announcement that Kathleen Kennedy would be retiring or stepping down from her role as president of Lucasfilm. The fact that nothing was said of her contract being renewed when it expired late last year, and when we'd always heard of her re-signing before this, the other times it had expired, that said to me, maybe she will be gone soon. And though I think there is still an outside shot that happens, that she takes the stage and tells us she is leaving, and that celebration would become a celebration of her time and contributions to Lucasfilm and the Star Wars franchise for some, while it would become a celebration of her finally leaving for many others. The whole thing that happened a couple months back now, where it was leaked by an insider at Lucasfilm that she would be gone by the end of the year, and then every major entertainment news outlet ran with the story, giving this rumor, as opposed to all the numerous rumors similar to it before, it gave it some credibility because of their silence the previous times that rumor had come about that she would be leaving. But now, because of that leak, I have a feeling she won't be going anywhere. Not just yet, anyway, especially after the way she responded to the leak, which she herself did, like, the next day, though not by denying there was any truth to it, but rather by clarifying this was all up to her, that yes, she would indeed be leaving soon, probably by the end of the year, but basically it wasn't going to happen until she was good and ready to go and when a replacement for her was found, which was still an ongoing process. Plus, she just seemed rather angry it had leaked and that so many were quick to celebrate this leak perhaps being true. So again, I really don't think she wants to go just yet. Though that said, I wouldn't be stunned if it somehow did still happen. I don't think it will. I'm not expecting it to, but it's not impossible, I guess. And as I have said before, I think that's about the biggest and best announcement that could come out of Celebration this year. It would perhaps, hopefully, maybe reinvigorate the franchise or the fan base a bit. It would perhaps give a reason for some to give Star Wars another chance. Those who have long since left the fandom because they believe she and Disney that they have completely mismanaged the franchise over the past decade, and they just don't care to hear or see anything from her or from Disney until things change. Either way, whether she stays or goes, something I absolutely do expect to get, and to most likely get right away tonight at the Mandalorian and Grogu panel, which will kick off a celebration essentially, is a teaser trailer for that film. And if that does happen, I'll probably have a video up sometime late tonight about it, though most of my coverage of the event will happen over on my other channel. If you are interested in keeping up with everything that is going on at Celebration, I will, or me and my wife, since we run the channel together, we will try to cover everything. And if you want that, and you want my take on all of it, as well as hers, well, head on over there. But anyway, with the shameless plug for my second channel out of the way, with that film, with the Mando and Grogu film basically being only a year away at this point, it does come out next May, and with it being the first Star Wars movie that we'll get in over 6 years when it releases, I am fully expecting them to try and get that hype train moving, get it rolling right out of the station as early as they can, and for us to get a teaser trailer tonight. And I mean, when it comes to that movie, I'll say I'm not excited for it, if that makes sense. I don't know that of all the Star Wars movies we could possibly get that I would pick a Mandalorian and Grogu movie, or that it would be in my top 10 or top 50 necessarily. Not that I have anything against the Mandalorian or even Grogu necessarily, but it's just not a top choice, especially after the way Season 3 went. But with this movie being a sure thing, it is coming out next year, it is filmed, it is in post-production, it is going to release unless something really strange happens in the next year. But I do hope it is good, and I think there's every chance it could be a good, enjoyable, entertaining Star Wars movie. I do have to imagine they understand the importance of this movie. They have to know that with it being the first film back in so long, and with the way things have been going for the franchise on the whole lately, that this really needs to be a big win for them, and they'll do everything they can to make it happen, though one would think they would have understood the importance of getting the sequel trilogy right, and well, we saw how that went. Nevertheless, we'll almost certainly get our first glimpse of the Mandalorian and Grogu movie tonight with a teaser trailer. Again, for those of us here in the US, other places, the time will be different. It might be morning, it might be afternoon, whatever. Though there technically was already a teaser trailer at D23 last year that those only at the convention got to see, as well as anyone who wanted to go find it online, which wasn't that hard to do. I saw it. It was pretty good, actually. As for any of the other Star Wars movies we know are coming or that are supposed to be coming, I'm honestly not sure we get any updates on any of them, even though a few of them were announced 2 years ago at this point at a previous Star Wars celebration. And I'm talking about the Rey New Jedi Order movie, as well as the Dawn of the Jedi movie from James Mangold, and the Dave Filoni movie as well, the Mandoverse movie. And though we have heard some updates about those first two, we really haven't heard much of anything about the Filoni movie, other than a rumor that said if the Mando and Grogu movie doesn't do particularly well, that his movie, the Filoni-Mando culmination movie, some call it, that it might just be scrapped. Though as for the other two, well, James Mangold is supposedly hard at work on a script, while the Rey movie is said to still be happening, but it's had a really difficult time finding and keeping a writer. Moving on now to live-action Disney Plus shows, well, there is, no surprise, a panel for Andor Season 2, which is set to start in less than a week. The show is set to return next Tuesday. But there is also a panel for Ahsoka, which will look back at Season 1 and also look ahead at Season 2, which probably comes out next year sometime, though I wouldn't expect too much about that coming season, given it has or is about to just start filming, so I really wouldn't expect a teaser trailer or anything like that. Maybe some concept art and some clues about where the story might be going, or a casting announcement or two. That sort of thing is probably all we can expect there. As for other shows, well, we have heard that there will be a Mandalorian Season 4 that takes place after the movie, but we don't know about anything beyond that, any other series that might be coming. We are kind of hitting the wall when it comes to series and what is next on Disney+, so maybe, just maybe, we get a surprise announcement of a new live-action series. Who knows what that series might be? Your guess is as good as mine. It would probably be set in the Mandoverse yet again. It could be an announcement for Skeleton Crew Season 2, but I think that is highly unlikely considering the ratings just weren't there for that show, even though, as I've said before, I personally enjoyed it quite a bit. Another thing I do fully expect to get, and I'm rather curious about, is an announcement on the next animated series. And I'm not talking about Visions, which we know a Season 3 is coming, and there is also a panel for that. Nor am I talking about Tales of the Underworld, which we know is coming and will be released on May the 4th, but rather the next, I guess you could call it mainline or big series, the next Clone Wars, Rebels, or Bad Batch, with my prediction for this still being some sort of show featuring Asajj Ventress, even though, yes, she's also going to be featured in Tales of the Underworld, but I just don't know why else you bring that character back from the dead. Unless you have some pretty big plans for her, bigger than just 3 15-minute episodes like will be in Underworld, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. The next animated series could be something no one sees coming, something kind of off the wall and different, and maybe not so much in line with the previous series like we've kind of seen before, where one plays a little bit off the others, where characters return. Maybe it'll be something all new and different. Maybe that's what we need to see out of Star Wars animation already. Last of all here that I'll be talking about in this video anyway, because yes, there are publishing panels that cover books and comics, as well as a Hasbro panel, which will cover obviously toys and collectibles, that sort of thing, plus plenty of other random panels that will cover a variety of things and where all sorts of announcements could potentially be made. But anyway, last and hopefully not least are the games, and we already know, since it was sort of already announced a few days ago, but we will be getting a new single-player tactics game called Zero Company. We'll likely be getting plenty of details about it at Celebration. There will be, I'm sure, a trailer, gameplay footage, all that sort of thing. As well as maybe, possibly something about the next game in the Jedi or Cal Kestis series, as well as possibly something about the Knights of the Old Republic remake that was announced years ago at this point, and that is allegedly still in development. but I'm having a really hard time believing that is ever going to come to fruition. There is also Star Wars Eclipse, which got announced years ago as well, and is supposedly also still in production, though it feels like it's been forever since we got any type of update on that game. But who knows, maybe that changes this weekend at Celebration. As for predictions for me about any random or very surprising announcements I think we could see, well, quite honestly, I don't think we'll get any. I think the biggest one we could have got was, of course, the very outside shot of Kathleen Kennedy stepping away, that announcement. But again, I don't see that happening this weekend. We could also maybe hear about a new live action series coming, though I'm also pretty skeptical about that. Though we should, I'm gonna all but guarantee we get some sort of animated series announcement and probably a trailer to go along with it. But other than that, and other than the things we do know are coming that have already been announced to get a panel and that sort of thing, I really don't expect too many surprises at all this weekend at Star Wars Celebration. Well, that is going to be all I got for you this time. Now it is your turn to take to the comments below and tell me what you expect to see, or maybe what you are hoping to see this weekend at Celebration. What announcement would give you a reason to celebrate Star Wars? And again, if you're interested in what's going on and want my take, do check out my other channel. We'll have full coverage of pretty much everything over there all weekend. Either way, leave a comment below and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.